Thanks, Joey.
Well, now you look second hot today.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll take second.
Second hot.
You guys know I flirt with everybody, right? Male, female, cat, dog, bird. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's all about it. He likes the good stuff there. So this is the game in the Zoom. So this is chat mic. All right, let's see if this works here. Does this work here? Is everybody talking about what's working over here?
We good?
You're good now, but your little boxes are a little messed up.
I'm going to fix my boxes now that Jen jumped in. I wanted to get the audio fine. All right. Audio's good. Yeah.
Hey there. What do you say there, world?
All right. Jen joined and screwed up my whole system here. The system's breaks. The system is made to be broken, but that's okay. All right. I'll do the intros.
With her not here, just for the record.
Huh?
I said the system was broken with her not here.
The system's always broken.
Thank you, James Earl. I appreciate that.
I'm not saying that you broke it. No, welcome to the party, Jen. How's everything?
Thanks. Things are good.
All right,
How are you guys?
doing great. Quinton and Mattie are here, by the way. I never introduced you guys. You guys have been sitting there all nice and stuff. Thank you guys for joining us. How are you, Quinton and Mattie?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Let me just say, you guys have been terribly under-edited this season, and we need justice for Quinton and Mattie.
Thanks. Get it trending.
And that's not just that's not like some bullshit that like other shows, how they kiss ass for the host, for the guests. If you know anything about me or in this show, you know we're real. We
no kiss ass at all.
Well, I've done enough episodes with them to know that they don't kiss us.
Right.
Awkward conversations on the show before.
Yeah, so you guys are actually very impressive. I didn't know what to expect from you guys originally, but we'll get into all that. Actually, yeah, let's just start while I'm doing all this. What do you think has been the biggest thing that you wish people would have seen that they haven't seen? Because I think that they didn't show a lot of your best parts.
They didn't show anything. But I don't know if it was on the show. It felt like they were just gonna show us like at the pit stop and that was it. Like nothing in between.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have loved if they showed a lot of like wrong in the car rides because I feel like we just popped up at challenges.
I was like, look at these guys.
Like somehow we made it.
But you guys,
Don't know how.
you guys did get lost a lot, right? I would guess.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So okay, here's the editing. If you want to know the editing problem with you guys were always in the middle of the pack. And the middle of the pack teams never get seen. It's the people in the lead and people at the end, and you guys were only at the end for short periods of time because you would get to some shit and then leapfrog right to the middle, and then they wouldn't show you until you guys would fall to the back. And that's just a weird edit. They show the people racing for first and people racing for last, and everybody else like kind of gets jumbled in the middle. And if you're always in the middle, it's bad. It's a bad edit, I think. Because you guys are entertaining. You guys have that. Like, there's not a problem with that. No, you guys are good racers, so there wasn't a problem with that either. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
About who? Kidding.
No.
Yeah, no, same thing. They were fun to watch. They were interesting. They're interesting people. Their lives. They're very funny, but in a dry humor sort of way, which I enjoy. Like Luis is always like, "Rah, let's have fun," and you guys are like, "Okay, let's have fun." So that was great. That was great to watch and see and hear. I did wish that they showed you guys more because when you guys did the challenges, again, we were talking about this off air. Quinton can kick really high. It's crazy. I was waiting. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna be able to. Oh my God! Look how easy he did that.
I think Joey has
stay there as he walked off with the other leg. It was just weird. It was awesome. You guys are like very athletic and love to watch it.
We call that a Batman dance.
I thought it was a powder beret. I don't know. I looked up my words.
Powder beret?
What is it? A step ball change? Is that another one?
Oh my God.
Words now, Joey. You're like, what words have I heard?
Kickball change? I don't know.
Kickball change. There we go. Pot of beret. You can put it together.
He just Googled some words right now to kind of. He's like, he's just reading right off his monitor.
No, I dated dancer.
Oh, I dated dancer.
Well, she's actually a nurse, but she went to school for dancing. I don't know how that works, but she's awesome.
That's a weird transition.
She can do anything. Anything.
Aww.
I will say, I loved y'all when y'all did the dance in Jordan. That was probably one of my favorite moments for y'all. The parts they showed of that dance in Jordan y'all doing. That was precious.
Oh, thanks. It was
Look
fun
funny.
once we got it. That was definitely the harder of the 2 dance challenges that we did.
All right.
That one actually took us more than one take. And the first time, Quinton literally like stopped us at the end and was like, "We're doing this again. That was bad." And I just looked at him. I was like, "This
Quinton.
isn't practice. This is the Amazing Race. Like, let them tell us we did it wrong." Like,
I knew that I was like, I messed up like more than one step. We gotta do it again. It's just like there's not even a chance.
we did the right one.
All right, so I'm all caught up. I apologize about that. Thank you guys so much for putting up with it. We are the Races Recap. This is the official show of The Amazing Race, the only show to ever have the creator, Elise Doganieri, on. And next week, well, no, a couple weeks from now, we'll have executive producer on, working on Phil. Bertram's actually shown a little interest. We are going to do some fun things around here, but before we do that, we got to get justice for Quinton and Mattie. But before we do that, let's thank Steve Allen for dropping a quick $19.99, getting things started off this week. Last week, I don't know what the hell got into you guys. $340 was donated throughout the day. So thank you guys so much. And I just figured out what I was going to do with a lot of it, and I can't wait to show you guys in the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be really cool, and it's going back into the show. So thank you guys for everything that you do for us. Lewis, Michelle in chat, we love you guys. Thank you guys for always hanging out.
Yes, Team Miami.
Team Miami, you guys are impressive. All right, let's kick this bitch off. First shout out to Phil and Dirks Bentley for winning the first ever pickleball challenge. Did anybody watch Phil play pickleball?
No.
Does anybody know what pickleball is?
Yes. Pickleball's great. It's a good time.
Oh, hold on. You've played? Who's played pickleball?
Me and Christy.
No.
Pickleball.
Mattie, you play pickleball? I thought this was a game for like 55-year-olds.
It
I
was
didn't know
until
that
now.
yeah, I didn't know until after I started playing and enjoying it that then when people were at the park, they were all like a lot older than me.
Go on.
I love
It's a
that.
cross
I just see you imagining you
tennis
like
and
playing in the
ping pong.
park and you look around slowly and you're like, who am I now?
But it's more my speed than tennis. I tried tennis and my first swing, I like threw out my neck and I was like, okay, we need to take it down.
You swing a little too hard. All right.
Quentin plays with you once and his pants are up to here. He can't kick anymore.
No. She's actually that was one of our conversations on the race in going to lose. We were talking about, she was like, I'm an average pickleball player. It was a whole segment. And I was like, no, it would have been a perfect tie-in for Phil and this new show. And I was like, you're not going to show it. It's fine.
Oh
Because
my.
we knew that we were going to a stadium. So we were trying to like guess like what it was. And I was like, oh, they love tennis here. And then I was like, oh, I could maybe do that because I'm a pretty intermediate pickleball player. And we like talked about that for a while. That could have been a good plug for Phil.
See, that's how they could have got the edit in.
See, we tried.
You tried. You tried. All right. Did you have a good time on the show?
We had a blast.
We had the best time.
Okay.
I have a great hair from it, but absolutely.
Oh, we all do.
Yeah, I got yeah. I've been in therapy about it. So
I lost many nights of sleep post race, but
yeah.
we're back on track. It's
All right.
I will say, even I'm like 7 years out from the race now. Every probably 3-4 months, I'll have a dream that I'm on the race again, and I wake up and I'm like in a sweat, being like, "Oh shit, where am I at?"
Well, listen, so they just put all of the seasons on Paramount Plus, right? So I was watching seasons that I hadn't seen before because I watched all the seasons on Hulu before we raced. And then there are like those ones that weren't there. And I started watching it and I told Quinton, I was like, I don't know if I could watch this yet. Like, it's really stressful for me to watch because it's too real.
PTSD. Sheesh.
Triggering.
Yeah.
Your elimination episode, you'll never watch again. I want you to know it's really hard to watch your own elimination
It
episode.
took me almost a week and a half to watch last week's episode.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it until last night. Well,
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't a week and a half. It was like 4 days. That's dramatic.
Yeah,
But
it's every
literally,
week.
I was like,
I've now watched the first episode of my season 4 times.
There he goes. Stop crying.
4 times.
I was
I can't get past the first episode.
You can't get past the first sentence.
Shut up. So this is the first season to feature 2 mega legs. This episode was the most watched live episode of the season so far. So the time slot's finally kicking in a little bit. But the
Maybe it's
DVR
because
numbers.
everyone wanted to get their last glimpse of Quentin and Mattie. Maybe that was it.
pretty much. That everybody wanted to see.
They wanted to see you guys, so they had to get it all in.
So teams were flown to Malaga, Spain, and began their next leg at the Castillo de Gabra. In the order of departure, we got Derek and Claire, Lewis and Michelle first, and then everybody else coming in right 15 minutes after them. It seemed like this one was the tightest of all of them, the tightest bunching, where first and last place were only separated by 15 minutes. I don't know if there was any other leg where it was really that tight of a grouping with everybody. So you guys had to make your way. Teams must be very cautious running down this little hill here. So you guys had to go up to this castle, and then once you're up at this castle, you just had to slowly make your way down. It seemed like this was a lot steeper than it seemed on television. Tell us about this walkway.
Justin.
We weren't there, fool.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you.
Wow.
I'm an asshole.
Wow.
Listen, normally I have people on when they were actually on the episode. So why don't you tell us what you think this walkway would have felt like if you actually got a chance to run it? So you guys actually weren't there. I'm sorry.
We opened up that wound a second ago and just was like, here's the salt.
Here's the salt.
Listen, at least I remembered you were on the show. I just didn't remember which episodes. No.
Did you just see their faces? We all just went.
Awkward.
Tell us about it. Well, it looked real cool on TV. Beautiful view. Beautiful view.
It was beautiful. The lighting was awesome. Wish we got an interview with the lighting.
Nice.
The lighting was really
All right,
nice.
so did you guys get sent home directly for when you got eliminated?
Justin, we're gonna call time of death and move on past that.
No, okay. So, no, it seemed like every team was being really cautious running down these hills. Injury was definitely, I'm sure, with Emily and Molly's leg being a problem, that injury was on the top of everybody's mind. It's like, we can't get hurt here. Jen, you're an extreme racer. Is this something you would have ran down and said screw it, or are you cautious on things like these?
We would have been running for sure, but I think there's some people that definitely were wiser to not run down it. We had some cobblestone and some weird steep stuff going on, and it's better safe than sorry, but you're also racing for $1 million, so
I'm gonna
know your strengths, lean in when appropriate. That is all I will say.
I'm gonna say that was probably a safety rule that they couldn't run.
Well,
someone's saying in chat, Michelle said they couldn't run.
Yeah,
got you.
That's what I was thinking.
We did have that in Thailand at our pit stop. We couldn't run through.
We had it at Wrigley. Couldn't run at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
Couldn't run through the stands.
They didn't ever tell us that. They're like, just run, Forrest, run.
Mattie, Quinton, what did they tell you?
Like some people were kind of slow jogging,
Yeah, they were a little.
Holding on to David's backpack.
No moisturizer.
Probably because it was slippery.
I did see that. She was like, I couldn't tell if she was holding him back or if she was trying to use him as balance. I saw that too, and I couldn't figure it out.
So this is where Lewis and Michelle said they are now focused. They really believe that they can win, and this is where we find out Lewis is in his homeland. This is the motherland where his ancestors are from, and he is feeling it. You can see right from the beginning he's got this Kool-Aid smile. He put the gel in fresh. He didn't throw the hat on for this episode. I don't know, maybe it came in and out, but he had the gel in. You got people. They're working together with Derek and Claire, though, in the beginning. How do you feel about working with the team that's in first place? You have a chance to race against them. You're the one that's competing against them for first place. Do you work for first together to get to the thing and then compete? I'm never working with anybody, so I don't know how this works.
I feel like it's different this season.
I'm gonna call you out on that, Justin. You worked with people in the race. You just didn't work when there were 5 teams left.
Who do I work with?
You also had a very different, your season in particular, the spacing was very different because they dealt with timing and start times in a very different way. So I think it's kind of hard to compare. I actually went back and watched an episode of my season after this because we'll get to it later. There was something that really annoyed me. And it really is very different than it used to be in a lot of ways. So it's hard to compare.
So
I think it's hard to work though with teams when there's 5 teams left. You have a 1 in 20. You have a 20% shot of leaving.
Yeah.
You're You gotta be on your own.
Did you guys have a strategy about working with other teams, or was it more play it by ear as you go?
Always play it by ear.
Yeah.
Always.
We never, I mean, you heard us before we got lost in Austria and we wanted to run our own race. Like that's what we said from the beginning. Unfortunately, that was not great at that point in time, but that was kind of our mentality most of the time. But if it made sense in the moment, like the few times that we worked with Lewis and Michelle, it just kind of fell into place. But we were pretty clear on it too, because once we got to a challenge, we're like, okay, we're not waiting for each other. You know, good luck, do your best. We'll see you later. Yeah.
See you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a big difference between alliances that we've seen a couple of seasons ago where they were legit working together. There's a difference between helping a team from now and then and teams working together. And we don't really see teams working together. They kind of help each other get somewhere, and then it's like, peace, you do your thing and I'm out. Yeah. Which I get. Aubrey said she's been holding back, and now she's going full force, bringing the claws out, and David is still happy to be here. And this is the episode they get the most minutes on screen that they've had all season. The only team that got less airtime than Quinton and Mattie was Aubrey and David. Like who? And then when they're on screen, people confuse them with Lewis and Michelle, who are such big personalities that they just overshadow them. It's just it'd be tough to be Aubrey and David on this season. I have to admit. Emily's leg is an issue right from the jump. Is this the reason they get eliminated?
I think it's gonna be the reason they don't win the finale. I still think they might do the finale.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the reason they're so hyper focused on this lead that it will be the reason they either don't win or don't get eliminated. Like they are hyper focused on this leg.
Yeah, I feel so bad.
I disagree.
Runs with the chopped off leg.
You disagree? What do you think, Joey?
I think they're putting too much emphasis on it. As far as James Earl's opinion about being hyper focused. Because it's actually my WTF moment. If you're racing, no one really races to get to the finale. You race that day, that moment, that task. Yeah. That's what you do. And I'll just give it now. My what the fuck moment was, why are you letting the hurt one do a challenge? Even though it could be 5-6 to nothing. Let her rest the starters if they're hurt, you know, with the playoffs, because you don't know how far you're going to go. I was like, why is she doing, you don't even know what it is. Why are you doing it when you're hurt? Because she could mess it up for them right there and not get to where they were planning to be.
But that's what I think.
God, I'm sorry.
That didn't really look like it was that big of a physical challenge. Like if you get there, it's like, I need to put this puzzle together.
She couldn't walk. And
yeah, but
I agree with you that
if they did 6-3, she has to do the rest of the roadblocks the rest of the season, right? She is stuck. She will be doing them. They're looking around.
But if she does it today and screws up, there are no more roadblocks. And there was so much conversation and talk that she couldn't even walk straight. That's why I was like, are you so hyper focused that you're not focusing on the issue that's right in front of you? Are you so hyper focused of something that's 2-3 days from now that you might not get to see because you don't see the bear trap that's right there?
See, I think the mindset they have there is playing to win. It's not playing to survive.
You win now so you can play later. I'm not saying survive now. You win right now.
See, that is totally different than what you say, like how you should play this game. You should play the game to win each lead, to do best each lead, not I should survive each lead and make it to the end.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think you should race to win that leg that day, not just kind of skate through and hope to get to the end.
Yeah, but
by her doing that,
I get you. But they're going to be forced to. If she did, like, they were going to be forced to do everyone. So there was going to be physical ones that come up that she just can't do. She can do this one. She can do it. She'll struggle, but she can do it. That's something she can finish.
Had to do a roadblock that day anyway, because if Molly was at
it's a mega leg.
It's a mega leg, right? Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
And it's usually if your partner did the first one, you have to do the second one. Usually they'll say that,
right?
In the mega leg. So
all right, that's fair.
That's a really
I
good
stand
point.
corrected by Mattie.
Quinton, Mattie, were you guys fans before getting on the show? Did you become fans after? Like, huh?
I remember growing up, and my favorite. Uchenna and Joyce was that season was one that stood out.
They're dolls.
Danny and Oswald, that was my like kind of childhood. So even when the opportunity came up, I was like, oh my gosh, we have to. Like, this is nuts. I was really excited.
Yeah. I didn't grow up with it, but I watched everything.
She ends up being the super fan, and I like I watched it previously, and then she was the one who had all the notes. Like, hey, so we have to do this. They're like,
I like it. I like it. I wish they would have shown more of that. Damn it. well, now
we got to the challenges somehow.
You got there. They show you getting lost and getting pissed off, and then you just happen to show up. They don't show you how you fix it. All right, so let's get to the roadblock. Who will be the master of pieces? You had to put together a Picasso puzzle. There's 6 panels, and you just have to put them in the right order. But they could go in 4 different directions or forward and backwards. So it's a lot more than 6 options that this puzzle could be. But they did have someone to help them. It looked like that these were fiberglass or something like that, really heavy, hard to pick up. You couldn't really do it by yourself, so you needed someone to help you. You got Aubrey, Claire, Emily, Michelle, and Marcus. So all of the females chose to do this task because I guess attention to detail is normally something that the females are usually better at than the males of the teams. I know for my team that was 100% true. But here's where I have a problem. Now let's go. Michelle, I know you're in chat. Michelle, you guys have been so on point all year. I'm picking the shit right next to the model. Every task, everywhere. They even showed it in the edits, you guys verbally saying it. And this one, you're like, let's follow Clara, the one who's been like terrible at every challenge, doesn't know how to use a wrench. Like, let me just go follow her. And then, oh, she picks one, let me just pick one right next to her. Did you see the model? No. Well, let's just open it anyway. Like, what the hell, Michelle? I'm gonna wait for your answer. You guys can chat amongst yourselves. I ain't got nothing else to say until
I think part of the problem is right. This is leg 9. People are fatigued. Like, it's easy for us to remember this many years out, like going back and thinking all the good stuff. But y'all remember back to leg 9 of each of your seasons. You are fatigued. You are so freaking tired. You are bruised and battered to pieces. You've gotten rid of 3/4 of what you brought with you because you just don't want to carry it around anymore. Also, Michelle said we should ask you about that at some point, and I haven't forgotten. But I think that's part of the problem is teams are fatigued, and that's where mistakes come in.
I think that the Racers Recap provides so much information that people come into the race knowing what they should do. And like early on, to your point, James Earl, you have the energy and you have the time to think clearly, and the pressure isn't on because there's a ton of teams behind you at any point in time, that you can remember those lessons that you learned from watching. But there's a difference between what you learn from watching and what you learn when you actually make the mistake. So it's one of those things where once you make that mistake in the race, you will never make it again, even in a leg 9. But if it worked earlier for you, I think it would be easier to forget in later on. Does that make sense?
No, I get it. Like, we ran out of cab money 3 legs. So when it came down to the final leg and the cab driver wanted $100 out of $150 just to wait, that's the reason I got pissed off and let him go, because of the stuff that happened earlier. And it's like, I learned a lesson of like, I screw you. I need this money. I had to beg for free cab rides 3 countries. I can't do it in New York. They're not giving you a free ride in New York. They're like, get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm keeping my money and then wind up losing. So yeah, I get it. Like, you make the stupid mistakes. I know everything, right? And I made the dumbest mistake that you can make. Never leave your fucking cab in the damn final leg of the race on the middle of an island in New York City where you know it's a fucking island because you grew up there. Yeah, I get it. But nobody's better. So
your answer, Justin?
What happened?
That must be horrible for you to handle and think about every day of your life.
I know. I wish I had something else going on. True.
Yeah, but I mean, losing the Amazing Race in your hometown, being the super fan that you are.
Yeah, such a shame.
I mean, I can't even. How do you
Stop
even?
It.
So Michelle said that she originally thought the statue was the model. The statue in the center was what. So why? So okay, I'll give you a little pass on that. But hubby said you didn't do a full 360 before you picked it, so I'll give you half a pass on that because hubby ratted your ass out. All right. So
she's admitting in chat. She's like, I made a mistake.
No, she's always been straight up. That's why I love them too. They come in and they don't try to lie and bullshit. They're at least honest about their shit. Emily and Molly is another example of why you should always keep your roadblocks more balanced. They really kind of felt like she had to do this one because they were out of kind of balance here. I mean, they're only out by 1, but I don't know. She was kind of forced to do this. She couldn't take a rest because there was just too much ahead that you can't. But I loved watching the bond already that they have, because you could see her sister crying on the sideline, just feeling her pain and knowing that, like, she's going through this pain because she doesn't want to give up on us. I love that bond already. But tell me this: why are Molly and Michael sitting there at the roadblock for like an hour with their backpacks on?
You don't think about it.
Stress.
It doesn't hurt. You don't get tired. Like, you're sitting there like this. It's like,
no problem with that. You're ready to go.
It's a weighted blanket.
You're ready to go. Look what happens when you drop your keys and you don't pick them back up.
You forget. Exactly.
But you're the person not doing the roadblock. This is the time to rest, recoup, get your drink on, lay back, bust out a protein ball. Like,
when we were in with, how were we? Italy, when she was doing the masks, I had a crushed toe somehow, and it was like just destroyed. And I sat there with my backpack on and her backpack, just waiting, like the engine's running, waiting. So I agree with them fully. Keep it on, get ready to go.
You were in the military. When you're humping 50 mile, first thing you do when you stop humping, what? Weapon, backpack, done. That's the first things you do. How do you not do that in the damn? When you're marching?
Because I'm not going to forget my weapon in my backpack when I go again. Look at that. I had the guy in the car.
I think you're just being very pitchy now.
So what? All right. So
you know what he's doing, James Earl? He's trying real hard not to cry.
Eat a dick.
He's getting those emotions back.
He's still not over it.
So Claire beasted this challenge. And the reason she beasted this challenge is because she had the same.
On her show.
She had the same exact challenge on her show. It was literally the same thing. It was 5 pieces that she had to line up in a same type of puzzle, and this exact thing that she did on Big Brother. But tell me why, when they finished, I don't know, maybe Quinton, Mattie, you guys might have some insight on this. Why does Claire kiss Derek on the top of his head like he's a monk or something? Like,
I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Like, I get the noses thing, with Leo, and
he put his head down for her.
He bowed to her and she kissed the top of his head. Like, I don't know. I don't know if there's something like in their relationship that I'm missing here. But
I rewound it a couple times because I was like, well, maybe he was like going to look at the clue, and she just thought he was going in for a kiss or something. But no, he put his head down.
Yeah, he specifically did that. I don't get it. I don't understand. But anyway, Aubrey crushed this challenge as well, and she actually passes Michelle, and this is when Michelle sees her low point of the race so far, where she just like, okay, I'm losing it for my team. That feeling of a team behind us now past us, and you get flustered. She drops stuff, finally gets a deep breath. But the cool thing that I saw here is that Lewis, instead of getting frustrated, was literally like there being the supportive, the
biggest cheerleader.
His biggest cheerleader. It's a big deal to have a supportive partner, and if anybody on this show knows that, I think it's Denise and James Earl. Like, their dynamic changed from the beginning of the race to where they got deleted from the race. That their whole dynamic changed through the race, and they learned to work together. Like,
100%. You can see it happen throughout. You can see the progression on the race, and I think that's part of the issue we struggled with at the start of the race, is because we were just like at each other's throats and at ends. And once you got past that and you started working together, I mean, we made it pretty damn far for a mother-son team.
Absolutely. Did you guys get into any fights on the race? Oh, because you guys seemed so happy every time they showed you, even when you were fucking up. You guys seemed happy. Like, you guys were in the wrong country and laughing about it. Like, I mean,
we talked about it. We knew because we are best friends. There is no like, I'm not trying to date her. Like,
right?
That's not my. But like,
but she's gorgeous.
Yes, but she's taken.
Oh my goodness! Congrats.
Hey.
Great dude. But no, nothing was ever that serious. So like, I was never worried about, if I gotta watch what I say because I don't want to get a divorce on it. You know what I mean? Like, I figure it out. If you fuck up, you fucked up. Then 5 seconds to have a moment and like dip out.
What was it? Stay calm, connected,
stay cute, stay calm, stay cool, stay collected.
No, cute is third. It's always
yes. I was waiting for that. It's cool, calm, cute, and collected. I have it written down.
But we never wanted to make each other feel bad, because that like your partner's the only constant you have, right? In the whole race, and everything's always changing. You're constantly confused. You don't know where you are. You don't know what time zone you're in. You don't know how you got from here to there. That you need that support from your partner. And it really worked with us because I was stressed. I mean, anybody's stressed going into a roadblock.
Yeah.
But I never felt like I was going to disappoint him because he always had my back and never made me feel bad for anything. Luckily, I didn't.
Like Italy, like that was the most fun part when she was doing the sculpting challenge, and like they didn't show it. But we had a whole Soul Train line going on. Like it was a whole party.
He was singing. He like changed the words to "Baby Got Back," but because you know how we were like getting chunks of the sculpture off. So we were like, he was like, "I like big chunks again." So he was doing that, but then production was like, "You can't be singing real songs."
I was about to say they would have to pay for that. That's why they didn't show it.
Quinton started singing we started making up lyrics and stuff. Yes.
Yeah, they'd have to pay money. And they're like, I ain't paying extra money just to. So mix it like I want some cheddar for that. All right, so Marcus having the toughest time he's had on the race so far. It looks like that he just can't get this. Like he looks beaten, but he doesn't give up. He doesn't ever give up on himself, but he just looks beaten because literally every single team passes him at this point. Michael's supportive to his face, but behind his back, he's like, I don't think he's gonna get it. So, I mean, if you're gonna do that, at least be supportive to their face so they don't know, and so they can get the inspiration and get the shade when they watch it later. But you know,
the thing that I don't know if you did this or not during the show, but like when you get that frustrated with a challenge, you just have to take 30 seconds, undo everything that you've done so far, walk away for a second, take a breather, and then just come back and almost start anew. Because if you're just like trying to beat your head into the ground with what you're already doing, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And like Mom and I did that in Paris, like with her and that stupid French rap. And they showed it on there where I walked away and she's still trying to read the paper. And you see me like snatch the paper away. And I was like, stop, just stop. Take a breather. Let's figure out what we're going to do. And then we're going to go back and kill this. Like you just can't keep beating your head into it because you're not going to get past it.
And it was one simple thing, the first panel that he put in, the first panel. And just like in my attention to detail task, all I had to do was turn the thing over, and instead I took the whole thing apart and redid it. And the same thing he did, instead of taking that one panel and just turning it, he took the whole thing apart and started over.
Sometimes that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
That was Dusty and Ryan too a couple of seasons ago.
It happens every season.
Putting the rocks.
Yeah.
He took like 15 minutes to just kind of like reel it back.
Sometimes you gotta do that.
Yeah.
You really do.
Totally. Agreed.
It's tough. It's a tough.
Sometimes you do that and it still doesn't work.
Well.
Like this is the first time we really saw the heart and the fatigue. Like I feel like Toulouse was when it was like the breaking point for everybody, to be honest. Like even when we talked about it after, like we knew we were like it was gonna be a bad day from the minute like we woke up. And we it's weird we never told each other that until after the race. And I was like, I had a really bad feeling this morning. And she was like, I did too, but I didn't want to say anything. And I was like, that's weird. But like to see Michelle go through like, oh, I'm really like, well, she was struggling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was cool to see that and see this. It was cool to see her like fight through that. It was honestly cool to see like even Marcus like fight through that because everybody was dying at that point. Like you can literally see it.
My favorite part was when Michael was like sitting there and he was like, I don't know. Marcus said that he could do puzzles. And then he got to it.
He's like,
But I will say too, you know, when you have 5 teams left, there's really no middle of the pack, right? There's the front and there's the back. And racing at the back of the pack is so significantly different than when you're racing to the front of the pack. I don't know what the feel is. Justin, you've been in the back before, led one. You were snot crying, so shut up.
Snot crying.
You're snot crying because you thought you were going to be first eliminated. So don't even act like
Could you imagine like one of the best races ever to be eliminated?
I was praying for that.
I wish, Justin.
I was doing Indian rain dances. I was like, I hope this piece
You could hope that shit on the All-Star season when we win every leg. All right, go.
But it's very different. It is. It's a very different experience. And I think you're seeing some of the teams that have been at the front of the pack. You're seeing them now at the back of the pack. And they're having to deal with those new stresses.
They don't know how to act, but we were in both. I didn't know how it feels.
Right there with you.
We knew how to rally.
So the route info here, the teams had to take a bike. I love bike riding on the race. It's one of the most underrated forms of transportation because it's so fun to do and you're going so fast and you get to see the beautiful scenery that you miss shit more than when you're walking. You miss stuff more than when you're driving. You miss stuff way more because you're so into the directness of it that you miss the big things, that you see the little details. It's so fun to watch, and you saw it on this leg. Everybody gets like confused, passes things, losing it, especially Emily and Molly, the people who needed it the most.
God bless them. They struggled this ledge. They really did.
Oh my God. And speaking of struggling, poor Michael over here starts to bust out like, he starts off like a happy story. Yeah, I grew up, I was on the bike the whole time. And then he's like, got into a bike accident, had hematomas, and got life flighted out. All right, so why would somebody get life flighted out? Does that mean like they're gonna die if they don't get in a helicopter?
Yeah.
Well, he probably had to get transported.
Brain, it sounded like.
Yeah. It sounded like he had a subdural hemorrhage. It's a bleed inside the brain. I imagine he was at a smaller hospital and they had to transfer him to a place that had neurosurgery.
Jesus.
I hate that we know this much about that.
Wow.
I mean, you deal with that because, that's major injuries. That most of the time epidurals with your type of injuries, but subdurals can happen a lot too.
Wow. Yeah. Good for him though, getting back on that bicycle. And it seemed like everybody had some traumatic story. Derek is over here, had trauma growing up. He's crashed every form of transportation that has two wheels.
Time. You knew I was going to do it. Everyone must have knew it was going to happen as soon as he said it. I have to call bullshit on this.
I'm going over here. You can do what you want.
Are you fucking serious? He couldn't pedal a bike? Come on. It's a bike. Whatever happened to the term you fall off your bike, you get back on? He didn't crash a plane. He fell off a bike.
He fell off a bike, a scooter, a moped.
He was like, I'm going to crash anyway. He's like, I can't.
Here's my biggest issue. My biggest issue with this whole thing is, why didn't Claire take the backpack? If he's really
Why didn't he get in the fucking front like E.T.? Why didn't he put him in a little basket, kiss him on his little head, and give him a nap while she was into all the athletic stuff?
Don't have that experience, and then you put him on a wobbly, shitty-ass rental bike in a foreign country in the middle of a city. That can be intimidating.
I mean,
she's literally a professional biker, so I'm gonna take her. Go.
I mean, come on.
I think it just makes me realize that there are certain, because I kind of had the same thought. I'm like, I never thought about biking being a challenging,
a traumatic incident. So it's changed your life. It's a bike. Jen, how many times have you gone down the mountain like the guy who crashes on the Wide World of Sports thing and goes into the snack bar? Do you not walk downstairs anymore? I mean,
and I share a little middle ground. I think there's a good middle ground here.
No, there's no middle ground here.
I do. I think there is. So I think that he can have his traumatic experience. He can have his experience, but he also signed up for a reality show where you can literally do anything anywhere in the world. So at some point in time, you have to go past that. And I think this is one of those times where you're just going to have to deal with something that you don't want to deal with.
I don't think you.
But he can still have those experiences.
I don't think you have a right to bitch about that when the guy next to you got med flighted from his bike accident and hasn't even said it till after. Till he's interviewing after the leg. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, I almost died in my.
Well, he's a freaking fighter pilot. It's one of the most deadly jobs in the world. He's fine.
Slipping in the wading pool. And you're complaining to the guy who got his leg bitten off by Jaws. That's what that's like.
Joey, you're so toxic masculinity. My injuries are worse than yours, so you have to deal with it because I dealt with it. People's pain tolerance are different, all right? Some people are mentally tough, some people are physically tough, some people just ain't tough, Joey. It's okay to not be tough.
And that's what I'm expressing to you now in my own personal way.
You need baking soda and vinegar, and you need to squish it in your mouth.
What?
Oh my God.
What does that even mean?
He's a douche. Okay. Baking soda, vinegar. All right. So there we go. Okay. Emily and Molly get lost on their bikes. Is that not what you use? Baking soda, vinegar? I don't know. What do you use?
I think you can buy stuff now. It's like Massengill or something.
My mom she used to have like a hot water bottle. Whatever. So the detour: fish fry or sailboat supply. You gotta skewer the 18 fish and cook them, or you paddleboard and bring somebody some ice and life jackets. This seemed like, if you just say it, it seems like the dumbest, easiest challenges on earth. Like, cook 18 fish on a skewer where you just sit there and let the fire do the work, or you paddle a boat out and say, here's some ice. But in actuality, it's a lot more difficult than it would seem. And I would say, unless you know how to actually paddleboard, there is a 0% chance you should ever take this, because if you've never paddleboard, it is not easy your first time doing it.
Especially a blow-up paddleboard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I had even chose that, the moment I get there and it's a blow-up paddleboard and I see the other task, I'm like, nope, we're going right over there.
Jen, paddleboarder, I would assume. This is
I probably would have paddleboarded. Yeah.
Have you done it before, or is it just like, hey, I can balance on anything that has anything?
Yeah, and Christy was also a professional wakeboarder. Christy's really good at all water sport things. So I would have been in Michelle's position and she would have been probably paddling, is probably how we would have done it. The blowing up thing was definitely, that takes a while. And if you are lazy in blowing up an inflatable paddleboard, you will pay the price because it will fold in the water. So you have to be really thorough to get that thing like super inflated and really rigid before you go in the water. So I'm sure that took longer than it appeared.
Oh,
and it kind of appeared like it took a while.
The best things about the race, the best thing I love when watching the race is when super fans who do preparation for the show actually prepared and did something that the show does. You know, when like James Wallington and they balance the same things on their head and they wind up doing it and they do it here, and like, I love that type of stuff. They practice paddleboarding, boom, they got the paddleboard task. They're like, we practice this, let's go knock it out. And usually these type of tasks, if you have the skill, are faster than the task that's generally everybody could do. You just take a certain amount of time. Did you guys have a strategy for that? Skill tasks versus like physical, if this has a definite ending versus a judge task, or?
You never had an option. It was go. Like, we would have realistically, even thinking about to our last leg, we would have did the medieval times, like the games, like. But when you're running and you're like, hold on, it was funny. We actually, on the drive back from the castle to the Walnut stuff, we were like, I made a joke and I was like, just imagine if we were the last team here, LOL. And then we pulled up and I was like, fuck, Mattie, oh my gosh. So, you know what I mean? So then automatically go, what are we doing? Go.
And you just picked the straightforward one. But we would have picked paddleboard, one, because physical, and I've paddleboarded before, but Quinton's also allergic to fish. So
like you can't touch them.
That is the only reason I would be okay with someone not touching a fish, because I am pretty irritated.
I knew you were gonna get pissed off at this. I even wrote it down in my notes too.
Yeah.
Before we switch to fish, can I say one thing about the paddleboard thing?
Yeah, keep going.
One of my favorite moments is when Louise is like pumping this thing up. He's like sweating, breathing hard, and Michelle's in there and she's like, so we're going to get you to paddle out, and I'm just going to sit on here and hold it. And he's like dying sweating.
Yes.
I laughed so
She was
hard
like
at that.
The goddess that is getting blessed. Yeah. So I have it here that Lewis and Michelle practice paddleboard. Lewis is having the time of his life in his homeland, speaking to his people, trying to get everybody riled up, enjoying the little things. I love when people could stop for a second and just experience the race and enjoy where they are, while not giving up any time, because he's still like, hey, you know, he didn't stop and, you know, run over there. But
it took him about 5 minutes in chat to blow that up.
So let me ask you this, in chat, could you have taken those life vests and buckled them together and wrapped around the cooler underneath and just so it secured the cooler on with the life vests, or did you have to take them separate? I don't know, but anyway, I would have seen like that. The life vests seem like they have secured. They have, you know, you could tighten it. It seemed like it'd be put the damn thing on there and tighten it, and it wouldn't fall off, and then put life vests on top of it so the ice don't fall. I don't know. Usually they have some sort of rules about that stuff. All right, so Emily paddleboarded on the Colorado River, and she would have loved to do this task, but the injury forced them to pick a different task, which slowed them down, which ultimately cost them a lot of time. And another thing that I saw a problem here, I don't know if you were going to jump on this at all, Jen, but they were doing tasks and judging themselves. Like, they didn't even take the fish up to be judged. She was just like, this doesn't look good. I'm just going to put it over here and start new. No. Let the judge tell you no. Let him overlook one or two. Put all the good ones, around the bad one and, like, bring it up. Like, there's no way that you sit and you wait for more to cook. Never judge yourself on a judge task. Never stop dancing on a dancing task. Never stop singing on a singing task. Let the damn judges stop you. That's just stop. Watch the damn races recap. All right. What do you think about Aubrey and David's strategy here, where they wanted to do, this is a mega leg, and they're thinking, we'll do the less physical demanding task now and save your energy for later? Was that ever a strategy for anybody on this panel?
No.
I literally was full gas 112% of the time, but I know that other people weren't that way. So I think if you are feeling fatigued at this point in the race and you know that about yourself, then it's probably a good idea to, like, make sure that you're not going to burn out. I just had so much adrenaline. I don't know.
I don't know how you ever lose that adrenaline high. Like, I had that until the moment I was eliminated.
Yeah.
I almost died in Vietnam. Literally almost dropped dead at the finish line. And then the very next day it was 104 or something. And the next day it was like 103 and we passed 3 teams. You just go. Put it, like you said, Jen, foot on the gas, go. That's what competitors do.
He's flipping him, Derek. No shit, Claire. That's how you cook stuff.
It would have been great if she had if she had like a New York Jewish old woman accent. Derek, he's flipping him.
Derek, he's flipping him. Derek.
Looky here, darling. He's flipping him. Would you believe it, darling? He's flipping him.
Get the salts.
I would never have guessed. You flip the things. Look at here. You just take and you flip them over. It's that simple. Sorry, Claire. There's no reason why you stand there. I don't care how vegan you are. You get your ass in there and you take a fish and you try to skewer some shit. Like, take something. If you get 1 skewer done, if you get 2 fish on a skewer, you helped. Rather than sitting there going, oh, I'm just going to salt, and then you don't even salt. Meanwhile, he's over here like, throwing salt.
You know what that was, right? You know what that is, what he was doing. It's that little meme, the salt person meme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Salt Bay.
Why am I missing this?
Because you're old, Joey.
You're old.
I got the douchebag thing, but I don't get the salt meme.
No, it's literally a guy. He made his career off of being
like he does this to a steak.
Salt man.
Just go ahead and just.
I can only think of Dave Chappelle when he said, "Just sprinkle some crack on him." That's the only thing.
Sprinkle some crack on it. Just sprinkle some crack on it, Joe Rogan.
This whole fish thing.
All right, go ahead.
It made me go back and watch our Morocco leg, because not that anyone should remember this, but our first challenge, we had to go. I mean, I can't even tell you. It is thousands of fish. We are elbows
I remember that.
deep in fish. There was no not touching a fish.
Shark fish.
This is like nasty ass, slimy, smelly fish. This isn't fish that are you could fucking eat raw. Oh, sorry, pardon my French.
No, it's okay. You just can't curse in the first 5 minutes. After
you're in a race for $1 million. It is the final 5. What a fish on skewer! Like I just don't understand it. End rant.
Love it. I love it.
This goes back to my point earlier of like, you signed up to be on a reality TV show knowing that you can go anywhere and do anything. You gotta do it.
It's a fish!
It's a fish!
It's not like it's something unusual.
It's a little
Like this is the equivalent of me of that chick that didn't want to go down. What's her name? Cannon? No, it was Mita. They didn't want to go down this water slide.
She would have been Hadouken right down. I'd be like, Hadouken! I don't care. She's going down that slide. There is 0% chance that anybody's skipping her. I'm grabbing her like this and I'm going down head first. Bye! I'll deal with you at the end. Bye! I'm done. That's it. There's 0% chance that you're losing a race because you don't want to go down a slip and slide. You can kiss my ass. I'm divorcing you on the spot. You don't go down, I'm divorcing you. You don't go, I will leave you and go with Betty, who go fat Betty at the bottom. That's my new partner. And that's it.
But this is very equivalent to that to me, where she is just like so adamantly against it. It makes no sense.
The fish?
Like, I can get that you're a vegan, you don't want to eat fish, but touching the damn fish? Come on, it's a fish. It's this big. It's not even like the big, ugly-looking fish, the damn slimy, those things that are damn still alive, and you got to eat them while they're crawling on your face. They don't got to do any of that stuff. It's just like... All right.
I did love, oh my gosh, I'm completely blanking. When David pretended that one of the fish was moving to just freak Aubrey out even further.
It's moving. Hi, Conyo. Hi. All right, so Marcus and Michael, Emily and Molly. Okay, so Derek and Claire, they actually do really well. And what do you think?
Derek does well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well,
Claire's a nad. And
they're part of a team.
I try to find the goodness in people, but like if I'm Derek in this situation, I'm telling Claire to shut the fuck up. And she's like, Derek, you dropped a fish.
Listen.
Like, well, thanks, babe. I'm doing everything.
I have to give them credit.
Maybe you can tell him that and then get back on his little bike.
I love the way they talk to each other, the way they communicate with each other.
They've been great all season, but I would have gotten annoyed in that situation if like mom is refusing to participate and she's over there and she's like, you dropped a fish. I would have lost my mind.
You better get your hands sandy and get your ass down there. Dive, woman, dive. Get the fish. Like, so we got, so what do you think about them helping Aubrey and David, who had no clue you had to salt the fish?
No.
Quinton,
You're
Mattie.
racing for first. You're racing for like.
I would like had a little like if I heard them like not knowing that they had to salt it, I'd be like, yes, and keep going.
Totally.
Oh, you guys doing good? Oh, looking good. Looking good. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Looks perfect. Perfect. No way in hell.
I couldn't even tell. Did Aubrey and David even ask for help, or did Derek and Claire just like offer help?
No, they're just like, did you salt the fish? Oh, we got to salt the fish.
Derek did. But this is consistent. Like Derek was the one volunteering the like, oh, just follow us. We know where we're going type stuff too.
The weirdest thing to me. Like I get it during the race, you made friends. So like if Kristen and Tiffany had come up to me at some point in the race and be like, are we doing this right? I'm not going to lie to Kristen and Tiffany. Like I had a bond with them on the race. I'm not going to lie to them. I'm not going to necessarily go out of my way and go over there and help them.
Right.
And I'm not just going to look over at Kristen and Tiffany and be like, babe, don't forget that salt. Like you're racing with 5 teams.
Yeah. And then here you look at it with Derek, with Aubrey and David, like if you're going to help a team, that's not the team that's going to help you in the end. That's a team that's probably the worst of the teams left. If you're going to align with somebody.
Why I think he did it.
But if you're going to align somebody, why align with the worst team? There's no way they can help you.
5 left, so if you get rid of some other competition, you're going with them to the finale, you're going to beat them.
Oh.
I guess.
Okay.
That might be it. He said, and they did say it was a strategy, and they say that when it comes down to it, they'll cut anybody's throat. So we'll see how it pays off.
Because right now, does anyone in this chat think Aubrey and David are winning the race? Quinton and Mattie, I know you probably know, so y'all don't answer. But are Aubrey and David winning this race?
Winning the race? If Aubrey and David, if anybody remembers Aubrey and David ran the race, that's a win for them.
True.
Exactly.
I hope you don't say that about us.
No, like you guys have fans. People are fighting for you guys. Like when Aubrey and David get booted, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that was cool." That's like
they got they got booted again. Like
no, they're gonna be like they got booted and they won the show.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Lewis and Michelle for the win. A beautiful convertible ride looks like for the next part. You just get in a beautiful convertible ride, and everybody's
jealous. The lighting, and we would have
so nice.
The lighting,
the headband.
Oh, you guys would have looked nice.
Oh. No crew, just you, top down, hair in the
GoPro going.
Oh.
Yep. You got 2 teams who are leading the first mega leg that are now the last 2 teams in the second mega leg. So. Everything changes on The Amazing Race. You can't predict it, but Derek and Claire, they do get the victory, followed shortly by Aubrey and David, who they helped. Lewis and Michelle in third, and we don't see where Emily and Molly and Marcus and Michael finish because they end up still on the task. All right.
Also, the one thing I appreciate about Derek and Claire is it has not been so hyper focused on Big Brother with them. I forget they're a Big Brother team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I appreciate that because I feel like they're their own unique individuals within the race, and it's not just Big Brother.
And I love that their interviews don't start like when we were on Big Brother, we did blah 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 blah, which they could have edited like they did with Jess and Cody. Like they could have done it differently, like they do it with the Riley. Like every time they do. I get it. You want those fans, but those fans, this is a different type of show. It's not the same audience at all. But all right. So next week, Emily, Molly lost again, but they're on foot. Aubrey is really scared of heights, and she doesn't think she could do it again. Lewis has never put an earring on anybody in this attention to detail task where you have to dress a real woman. Normally you dress mannequins, but there's a real woman standing there. So we'll see how that plays out. Claire is shaking like a leaf trying to cross a cable that she hates. And then we see her break down crying, saying she's so scared. And the cool thing is that this task looks like they're going to have to do that multiple times because there's a question at the other end of this thing there's like 5 envelopes and each envelope has a flag on it. And then you have to pick the right flag or you got to go back. So this is going to be really good. So it looks like they got some shit wrong and they have to go back. It's the Andalusian flag. Does anybody know any colors of the Andalusian flag? Does anybody even know what the hell that country is?
You don't understand, y'all. She literally, again, super fan move. She knew every flag of every country.
Did I retain it? No, but
retained it enough for the show.
Yes, exactly. It was fresh in my brain when we were racing.
Well, there's a reason nobody knows Andalusian flag because it's not a country. Okay.
Good.
Okay, it's a region in Spain, so it's kind of like a state flag, how we would have in the USA, like a state flag. So that would be really tough for people to have studied that like a state flag, unless it was some sort of big and local lore. Marcus and Michael are building some sort of circular brick structure. It looks like a really cool masonry task. I'm really interested to see how that plays out because that looks like it could be awesome. So it looks like a really interesting finish to this mega leg. What are we thinking? What are we talking about? What are we doing?
Wasn't Andalusia the place in Frozen?
No, that's
Arendelle. Who's gonna get it first?
I was wondering who was gonna jump up, James Earl.
The one with kids. Arendelle. Duh.
I'm the one the kid at heart.
Yeah.
Remember how you thought on the last mega leg that they like took a break and slept in between? Did they take a break and sleep in between on
this one? No, they said they didn't.
It looked like they were in a convertible, like they were driving to wherever they needed to go to the next.
There was just in some of the like confessionals, for lack of a better word, they're talking about how, like Marcus and Michael are talking about how they need to perform in the second half of the mega leg, and I don't know if that was just production having them speak like that or if there was a break. But
there was a break last time. Sleep break.
It's 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah. So it's just like any other 2B
health check.
Keep racing that in the past, because that's exactly how it's been in the past.
Take your electrolytes. Drink your electrolytes. Health check. Here's a bag with a sandwich and a damn apple and a granola ball.
I think
all right, so let's get to some of the awards here. Joey, you already said your award. Is there anything you need to add to it, or are you good?
I think my comments earlier spoke for themselves.
All right. James Earl, give us something to seal clap about.
Yeah, so there wasn't a whole lot to seal clap about this episode. A lot of things annoyed me this episode. The one thing I loved in this episode was when Louise and Michelle were coming back after delivering the wakeboard, and they were just having so much fun, and they're just being a blast, and that made me so happy. Just like the little flip into the water and just celebrating with the locals. I loved that. That made me so happy.
Yeah, I like seeing it. I think they genuinely thought that they were like in the lead. We're getting a win in my home country. Like that's like such a great, genuine feeling. And even if not, like we're doing well in a place that we've always wanted to be, or we've always wanted to.
Still clap to them.
Home court advantage on the Amazing Race isn't such a good thing after all, is it, Justin?
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I never had home field advantage.
Never had a home court advantage. Never had a.
Nope, Jen. What are we talking about here? Jenny, how you doing?
I'm gonna give my love out loud.
Loving,
to
okay.
Molly, her tears, just the love that she has for her sister and the support that she's showing from the sidelines when she had to battle through that roadblock. So it's going to Molly and Emily this week.
That makes a lot of sense. All right. So when we get to superfan moves, I don't know if we've seen too many superfan. There was an anti-superfan move by not checking to see where the model was. Superfan moves. The closest thing I can get to a superfan move was actually doing your preparation before the race and preparing for one of the exact tasks that they had on the race. So you got to give that to a superfan move for doing preparation that literally directly paid off. I practiced this. They did exactly what I practiced. That paid off. You have to give it to Lewis and Michelle practicing the paddleboarding on the superfan move. I mean, come on. What are you going to do? You practice perfectly. Who's going to win the race? Who's winning? Do we still know? Do we still believe in the teams that we believe in? I still have Lewis and Michelle. I still don't see any reason why it can't be them. The only team I don't think has a chance at winning is Aubrey and David right now.
They're the only team
that
that
top three are all still in, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of good odds of winning.
Yeah, you got 3 of the top 5. I got 2 of them. Joey, Joey got 1.
I got 1. That's enough. All you need is 1. Only 1 team wins, right?
That's it.
I've got 2.
You got 2. Yeah. All right.
I don't think either of the ones that are my 2. Well, Derek and Claire could win. I just kind of feel like Lewis and Michelle are going to win.
Exactly.
I do too. I think they're the winners.
If you guys made it this far,
see that initially, but
no, but the way they did in the edit and the way they're just performing, I think they're the winners.
You don't think Emily and Molly are getting a witness at it?
Nope. The ledge is what's going to keep them from lose. They're going to lose in the finale because of the ledge.
Yep, they're going to be one of those bring back those teams for the All-Stars.
So who's going home next leg?
Aubrey and David?
No, I think.
No?
Weren't they out last week?
I think it's going to be Michael and Marcus.
No, this early?
They're just getting they're getting those feels of they're showing way too many of their mistakes right now. They are.
Even with the
I
two,
girl. I kind of do.
You can't make a lot of mistakes right now. Like any mistakes are going to cost you.
And they're overcoming them though.
A lot of them.
But they're overcoming them. They're not going to continue to make these mistakes. You're betting they're going to continue. I'm betting that they got the mistakes out and they overcame them. How many more mistakes could they make?
Michael, I think Marcus and Michael, like Tara and I, and Molly and whatever shit.
Emily,
yeah. I think they kind of like the boys, Redmond and Matt, how they went out 4th. And there's also a leg issue there.
We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out.
What? James?
Because he doesn't have a ledge?
Yeah.
Jesus, you're so wrong, Joey.
He loves it.
One thing we have not forgotten. Michelle said we need to ask Quinton about his badge, and I want to know what we needed to ask Quinton.
Let's go. Spill.
Well, let's start off by saying it weighed 40 plus pounds.
40 pounds?
You don't understand. I'm strong. I have a backpack every day. I travel with a backpack.
What do you need 40 pounds of?
3 toiletry bags.
How much stuff did you get rid of? Or did you carry it the whole time?
Quinn, I'm only laughing because on the second leg of the race, Tara, who is a complete stranger to me, we're both in the military, looks into my bag and just starts ripping out like hair gel and just like, nope, just started throwing all kinds of shit out.
Listen, I made him look at all of his toiletries before we went from LA to Germany.
Come on.
I'm like, get rid of some stuff. And
like what? Like what? Lotions? What else does guys use? Like, I mean, what?
Shampoos, purple shampoos. Purple, is that a thing?
Yes, I have blonde hair. You got to keep it blonde.
Yeah, Justin, you don't understand
night
what we
cream,
go through.
Eye cream, day cream, sunscreen.
You can skip that for 3 weeks.
No, you can't, sir. Okay, I'm going to talk about
it. You can skip that for 3 weeks. You know, $1 million make your ass glow.
One legit question, Quinton. on the race, there really is no day and night, right? Because you're going from like place to place. Your body has no idea what's up. So like, I wouldn't even have known when to put the day cream on. You wake up on the airport floor at midnight, and that's your day.
It was different.
His watch always had like the home time.
So that's why you always late. You had to stop for like cream time. It's noon. I got a cream, bitch. We are not moving. I am creaming my face. Screw this. I look good.
I didn't have any lotions or salves or anything like that.
Listen, I made him evaluate his life. I was like, you're not leaving the country or wherever we're going. You're not leaving with all of this. So I like went to the bathroom or whatever, left him alone because it's a very like serious thing for him. And then he comes to me, he goes, okay, I can get rid of this. And it's wrinkle spray.
Wrinkles? Dude, you're like 20. What do you need wrinkle spray for?
Mattie, I'm telling you right now, if there's no iron in the hotel room, I'm going to be mad at you.
And there was no iron in the next hotel room, and we had to figure it out.
I have to say, you do have great skin.
We didn't fight, but there was a moment where there was a very intense situation where we were going from Germany to Austria, and it was the first time we had to actually go through airport security.
No, not Germany, Austria to Italy.
Yes,
It's clippers. He brought clippers?
Yes.
You don't need a fresh cut on the damn race.
I get a fresh cut every Friday. It is a thing since I was 16. But I had 3 toiletry bags. You know what I mean? I had the hair, I had the skin, and then I had the body. Just leave me alone.
If you want to know why you lost, you're explaining it right now. Continue.
You lost me.
Continue on. Nobody has ever won the race with a bag of toiletries. Nobody. So you can continue on with your 3.
Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk.
Yeah, I want to hear it. Go ahead, though.
No, we went through security in Austria and Germany.
No, Austria to Italy.
We went Germany, Austria, but we drove back to Germany for the flight. So we were back in Germany, remember? And they wouldn't let me. They were like, you can have to fit everything in this like little plastic bag. And I was looking at Mattie like, can you take some of my stuff? Because they're gonna make me throw away everything. And I'm low-key having a moment, you guys. Like he's
really trying to just like get my help. And I'm just looking at him like, no, I want you to throw away everything. So you don't.
So then it went from like, okay, I had this like acne gel, and I was like, well, it's either the $85 acne gel or the toothpaste. And I was like, well, I'm keeping the toothpaste. I was like, I'm keeping the acne gel, and I was like, throw away the toothpaste because we were sharing it. Racer move, we were sharing the toothpaste. Okay?
Here we go.
Yes.
Dude, Hung and Cheese shared a toothbrush. They brought 1 toothbrush. You brought 3 bags of toiletries. They brought 1 toothbrush.
Not together.
Those are very 2 extremes. I want you to know we can afford 2 toothbrushes on the race.
Yeah.
How much does a toothbrush weigh?
No, that was way overboard. But I mean, you know, obviously, it's true. There was a dumb
How much
thing.
did your bad weigh when you came back, Quinton? Did you get rid of anything?
38 pounds. He was
I personally had more clothes than I needed, so I ended up dropping off a lot of stuff. We only had 3 shirts.
He brought 3 shirts and 16 bottles of lotion.
No, he had like 12 of both, like 12 shirts, 12 shorts. And before we went to Germany, I made him.
You're having a new outfit for every leg.
That was his preparation for the race. Was like,
and they didn't show you.
Exactly.
Dude brought 64 outfit changes. They showed the same outfit the whole time.
Outfit. I was like, we have the final leg out. This is gonna be the one we wanted. Like,
thank you.
I didn't have any draws on for the last week of the race. I crocheted underwear out of wheat for the finale.
You guys are nuts. Quinton and Mattie, I really appreciate y'all. I'm glad you're part of the Amazing Race family. If you ever get a chance to get back on the show, Mattie, do not let him bring that fucking bag. That bag is 15 pounds max.
I now travel very light.
15 pounds. Let's go.
Less.
All right.
Less.
It was a pleasure. Joey, make sure you check out Joey Cavino and donate to his incredible charity link he'll put in chat, right? You know how to do that. Give Kids the World. Quinton and Mattie, if you guys ever want to go to a charity event, they would love to have you down there. You reach out to them. It's an incredible charity event at Disney World.
Yeah, we can get you this year.
Yeah.
Reach out to me.
Yeah, speak to them. It's really awesome. It's such a great event. And to you guys in chat, I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for hanging out. I had a blast. James Earl, anything that you want to say to the posse before we out?
Bye.
Jen, escapades.com. Check it out. If you don't know what you're talking about, it's escapade with a P-O-D, right?
Yep. .us. But
sorry. .us. Sorry about that. Quinton, Mattie, what do you guys got? You got anything you want to promote? You got something we should be checking out?
Ooh, shameless plug. If anybody needs choreography at high school, college, all-star, pro, whatever you need.
Where are you at? Is it anywhere in the country or is it specific?
I'm worldwide, so fly me out.
Woo, Mr. Worldwide. You need to speak to somebody. Mr. Worldwide. All right. Thank you guys so much. If you guys want to play Dungeons and Dragons with me, I'll be playing in about an hour. Check me out, dndweekly.com. Pow.
All
right.
Hard pass on that one, but I love you.
Nerds unite. Nerds unite. All right. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.